If you guys haven't seen my top 5 best beginner bike video, I'll have a link in the description, but basically in that video I went over 5 good beginner bikes for each category. One of the categories was sport touring, and on sport touring I put the VFR800 pretty much every single day. I get somebody messaging me or commenting on the video saying, really, a VFR800, that's a beginner bike, are you crazy? And so I've decided to revisit the issue at hand, because when I made that video I had never ridden a VFR800 before. All I've ridden was a VFR750, and I looked at the text sheets of the VFR750 versus the VFR800, and they really weren't that different power-wise, so that's why I was like, alright, I basically have experience. I mean, I know it's a little bit more powerful than my 750, but pretty much the same bike. I was wrong. This bike's a lot more powerful than the 750. I don't know if it's because mine was old and the California model and all that stuff, or maybe just that's because all of these are faster than all of those. I mean, there's a bit of difference in power with these bikes. I don't know, they do require some know-how of how motorcycles before you get on one. They're heavy bikes. That's pretty much the worst thing about it. And I said that the heavyweight was good because then it was hard to power wheelie and it made it feel more stable while you were moving, and that's true. But you're gonna drop the bike if you're a new rider, especially with this 530-pound beast. You're pretty much guaranteed to drop it. The VFR800 is a really heavy bike, and because of the heaviness of it, it's really not beginner friendly. You're gonna have the most trouble as a new rider with handling the weight of your bike, because cornering, braking, and moving around at slow speeds, that's where the new riding will get you. That's where it will become a problem for you. At first I was thinking, well, yeah, the weight, I could see the argument for that, but the power is really linear on the 750. Like, my 750 was so easy to ride. Like, I had no issues riding that bike. It was it was probably the most friendly bike I've ever ridden, and it was probably more friendly than even like a Ninja 250 or a Ninja 300, and I've had both of those bikes, so I can say, I mean, the power delivery was so smooth and predictable. It was great. The VFR800 is not smooth, especially in stock form. It's very herky-jerky at lower speeds. You get a lot of, like, unless you do that pair flapper and snorkel mod, that I have a video on that too if you want to see that. That'll be in the description if I remember. But unless you do those, like the low speed jerkiness, it can be very disconcerting for a new rider. And then finally you have the VTEC with the top end, which just, it changes the bike completely. I mean, it's not like super different, but you get a pretty good pull. And if you don't, I mean, I don't think it's really a problem as long as you know about it. And it's mainly a problem in the twisties. Like, if you're in the twisties and you're a new rider and you hit VTEC in the middle of a corner, it's not that it would be a problem for an experienced rider, or even like a rider that knows about it, but for a brand new rider, if you hit VTEC in a corner, it could scare you, and you could hit the brake, or I don't know, you could do something weird, because that's what new riders do, is they do weird things, and it could cause you to crash. So that's why the VTEC could be a problem for a new rider. So far we have the heavyweight, we have the VTEC. Those are problems for a new rider, and because of that, I really can't say this is a good beginner bike. Now, if you have dirt bike experience, you know about clutches, and you've taken the MSF course, then you'd probably be okay. I don't know, the brakes are pretty good on this. They're actually sort of difficult to lock up, so that's good for a new rider. And if you have ABS, then that's even better. I love the brakes on these. They make me feel so confident. I like these brakes better than my CBR's brakes. The sport touring category, like, what else can you... Every sport touring bike's going to have a lot of weight to it. So I guess what it comes down to is that if you're a new rider, I don't recommend you do some sport touring. I mean, if you just got your MSF course, it doesn't make much sense for you to go and take a trip from California to South Carolina or something like that, like coast to coast. Like, there's no point in that. if you're a new rider, like, you should really, before you even travel out of state, you should probably have at least a year under your belt of riding. But it's a great touring bike. I mean, if you are maybe somebody who has some experience riding and you want to upgrade and you think about touring, this is a fantastic option. I mean, it truly is. I mean, if you have Ninja 250 experience or something, and basically you just know about the VTEC, and maybe you do a couple mods to this bike, like the snorkel and flapper and pair, then I think you'll be alright. Like, I think this bike would probably be fine for you. I love this bike. I love this bike so much. I don't know about the VFR800 being a best beginner bike. It actually has too much power to do that, and it has too much weight. But it is a beautiful bike. It has a very, very addicting seating position and power delivery. The whole bike is just so good. Honda did such a fantastic job with this motorcycle. It's everything I wanted it to be and so much more. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm about to jump on the highway, which means you won't be able to hear a single word I am saying, so I am off. I do have a few surprises coming in soon for the VFR800. Basically a couple of modifications. I'm going to make a video on each one on how to install it and stuff, so be prepared for that. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Let me live my life, the one I'd better lead. All the blondes of fantasies, and we looked at them 11 ways. You said, look.